Thanks. Good evening. Welcome, council, staff, and residents to the regular council meeting for Tuesday, May the 20th, 2025, and we are being streamed live. I'll call to order at 6:30 with the land acknowledgement. We are meeting today on the traditional territory of many nations, including the Huron-Wendat, Anishinaabe, and the Haudenosaunee peoples. We acknowledge our shared obligation to respect, honor, and sustain these lands and the natural resources contained within. We honor their cultures and celebrate their commitment to this land. We would also like to acknowledge the Mohawk and Algonquin nations, whose traditional and unceded territory we are gathered upon today. Hastings County is situated on treaty land that is steeped in rich Indigenous history and home to many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people. Next, I need a motion that the agenda for the regular meeting of the Council of the Municipality of Marmorn Lake for Tuesday, May 20th, 2025 be approved as presented. Can I have a mover and a seconder? Eric, and second. Ron, any discussion on the agenda? All in favor? That's carried. Is there any declaration of pecuniary interest? Thank you. Being none, move on to the mayor's report. May the 6th, I chaired the regular council meeting for Marmorn Lake. May 12th, CAO John and I toured the area occupied by the Historical Society and the hub at the library building, and then we toured the DeLaurel Community Center. From there, I proceeded to travel to Brockville for a Southeast Health Unit governance meeting. May the 13th, I attended the Southeast Health Unit governance meeting in Brockville. May the 14th, I was invited to attend the open house for the martial arts program at the community center. This program was for the 8 to 12-year-old members. The previous night was for the under 8 age group. Greg had them participate in demonstrations that they learned in their program and explained the discipline and the background of the martial arts. There were about 20 members that night in this age category. I was very impressed, both with their discipline, their respect for their coach, and the skills that they've acquired, especially learning how to protect themselves in challenging situations. And thank you to Greg for providing this opportunity for our younger members of our community. I have to say that this group of kids, they were right in there helping to put the mats down, and they were participating in not only the program, but in preparing for the program. And they, there was just a sense of camaraderie among them. And, they ranged in their range of sizes, but they went through the demonstrations and the programming. And I guess I just never knew a lot about the martial arts other than seeing, things on TV and that. But this young group, this is just a real advantage to our community to have these young people learning these skills. So May the 19th, I spent a good part of the day preparing these 5 meetings today. May the 20th, today, I attended the Hastings County Planning and Development, Finance, Property, and Personnel Committee meetings, followed by 2 special council meetings. I also participated in a selection meeting to hire a facilitator for leadership training for the Southeast Health Unit. And tomorrow I plan to attend the 25th anniversary celebration for community care in Tweed. Tonight is our regular council meeting. Next, we need a motion to adopt the minutes of the regular meeting of the Council of the Municipality of Marmorn Lake held Tuesday, May the 6th, 2025. Can I have a mover and a seconder? Ron, second. Eric, any discussion on those minutes? All in favor? That's carried. Staff reports. Kristen's report on the Integrity Commissioner appointment. And the recommendation is that council accept this Integrity Commissioner appointment report dated May 20th, 2025. That council directs staff to seek a draft agreement from ADR Chambers for Integrity Commissioner services to be presented at the soonest possible regular council meeting, and further that council directs staff to prepare an appointment bylaw and bring it forward along with the draft agreement for council's consideration. And I have a mover and a seconder for that report. Ron and Jane, any questions or comments on that report? Being none, all in favor? That's carried. Thank you, Kristen. Next, second report from Kristen regarding the farmer's market, the 2025 site plan. And the recommendation is that council accept this Marmor Farmers Market site plan report dated May the 20th, 2025 for information. I have a mover and a seconder, please. Jane, second Mike. Any comments on that report? Being none, all in favor? That's carried. Next report from John, CAO status update, May 2025. And the recommendation is that council accept the CAO status update May report 2025 report dated May 20th, 2025 for information. Can I have a mover and a seconder? Eric, second. Ron, any comments or questions? Mike?
No, I was seconding the motion, Jan. Sorry.
Oh, okay, thanks. Eric, you have a comment or question?
Through the chair, maybe, John, would you be able to expand on the status of the Parks and Rec garage, and where we're at with that?
Absolutely. Through your chair to Councillor Dow. So we actually should have a report coming forward for the next council meeting. What Jeff has been able to do, our manager for Parks, Recreation and Facility, has been able to get quotes not only on the roof in terms of the engineer's report, which supports the idea of a roof going forward. It won't be a spoiler, that will come forward. But on top of that, get other estimates with respect to other repairs that will be required, mold remediation, any electrical work, as well as any concrete repairs. So he's been able to get some of that rough stuff. I believe we'll have something ready for the June 3rd council meeting to bring that forward with the idea of what repairs can be done and what time, and the idea of also looking to what we have as a budget. If we have enough, then that would be forward, and that would be consistent with the recommendation that came out of the 2025 budget.
Thanks, John. Any other comments or questions? Being none, all in favor? That's carried. Committee and board reports. There's the Building Inspection Services Board, the minutes of April 24th, 2025, and the Economic Development Advisory Committee minutes of April the 30th, 2025. And the recommendation is that the foregoing minutes and reports of the committees and boards listed are hereby received for information. Can I get a mover and a seconder? Ron and Mike? Any questions on that recommendation? All in favor? That's carried. And there's a second recommendation that council accept the recommendation from the Economic Development Advisory Committee to appoint Sean Graham to the EDAC to fill the current vacancy. Can I have a mover and a seconder? Eric and Jane, any questions or comments? All in favor? That's carried. Correspondence for direction, Crow Valley Conservation Authority, the April municipal brief, and the recommendation is that council receive the brief for information. I have a mover and a seconder. Ron? Second. Jane? Any questions? Comments? Go ahead, Mike.
I see on the report that staff recommend that they turn down an application and then they went ahead and approved it. Do we have any more information on that? Sounds unlikely.
Ron, do you know it?
Where are you looking, Mike? Just so I can catch up with you.
Oh, Crow Valley. On their brief. Hang on. I don't have the brief in front of me, but the staff recommended they turn down one of the applications that was forwarded to them. And then in the end, they overrode it and approved it. I just wondered what the change was there.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure where that is, Mike, in this brief.
There is no explanation, Ron. That's what I'm asking.
Through your chair to Councillor Dare, I believe it's under the Watershed Advisory Hearing Board meeting. Yeah, I see the first bullet point. This is page 26 of the agenda. If I may, just reading it, at the end of the first bullet point, the proposed development does not conform to and recommendation to deny an application. Then the third bullet point is the board pass a motion to approve permit with the condition of construction will be provided to the satisfaction of CDC staff prior to development.
Yeah, it was a four-wheeler trail. And staff denied it and the board overturned it.
Okay, I just wondered what the,
Well, it just made sense, Mike. It was the only way in to their property and
okay, yeah, so
it
that's sort of why I was looking for some details. That makes sense then.
yeah, the board overturned it because it just made sense to do that.
They couldn't get in otherwise.
No other way.
Okay, thank you, Ron.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Ron. So any other comments or questions? All in favor? That's carried. Hastings County Council report from April 24th, 2025, and the recommendation is that council receive the report for information. I have a mover and a seconder for that, please. Eric, second. Mike? Any comments or questions on that report? Seeing none, all in favor? That's carried. Mary Stewart, Central Hastings Family Health Team. Quality Improvement Narrative Report. And the recommendation is that council receive the report for information. Can I have a mover and a seconder, please? Mike, second. Jane, any comments on questions on that very detailed narrative? Go ahead, Mike.
I didn't realize that I go to the doctors down there. I didn't realize they had so many programs and plans going down there, and it's really great to see. And it's great to see that they got a lot of participation from a lot of people. So it's good for our community that we have both the Marmora and the Madoc site. They seem to doing a great job and expanding the services that are available up through here, which is great. People don't have to go to Belleville and all that anymore.
Thanks, Mike. I think reading through the details in that report, it's amazing the number of programs and the services that they, that they are providing. And I think that as a community, we're very, very fortunate to have these two clinics that we can, have service for. And, I sit on the doctor recruitment committee, and they're still actively, pursuing, more medical help, whether it be nurse practitioners or doctors. So I think, we have to be really grateful that we've got such an active group working in this community. Go ahead, Eric.
Yeah, just like that as well. Several programs they offer, you don't have to be a rostered patient there, like the PAP clinics, if you don't have a family physician. So if you are a member of the community, follow them on Facebook. They promote all the programs that they offer, even if you're not a patient there. If you don't have medical care, there are programs that are select programs that are available.
Thanks, Eric. Yeah, and there's some really interesting statistics in this report as to the age groups and their average ages in the community, and how many people are sort of subjected to heart attacks. And anyway, there's just it's really worth reading that whole report. There's some really good information in it. Any other comments? All in favor? That's carried. Next is the Tap and Tonic patio license approval request. And the recommendation is that council approve the request from Tap and Tonic to permanently extend their Alcohol and Gaming Commission of Ontario liquor license to include the sale and service of alcohol to be consumed on their seasonal outdoor patio located on their privately owned driveway, providing the patio does not encroach on the sidewalk municipal property and that this sale and service of alcohol remains within the scope of their AGCO license. Can I have a mover and a seconder for that? Dane, second Mike. Any comments or questions? Eric?
Question for staff, through the chair. Was the fire chief consulted, just to make sure there's still safe access to the rear of the buildings through that alleyway?
Kristen?
Through the chair to Councillor Dow. I understood that that had been assessed last season, and so didn't ask him again this season, but certainly can do that. Council would like. It was my understanding last year that this driveway doesn't have anything to do with access to the back of the building, but I'm not actually sure where the fire route is back there. So we can certainly check with him.
Go ahead, Dane.
If I can offer a bit of information on it, last year I was asked, by a resident, about that very fact about the access for the fire safety, and I contacted the fire chief, and he had said that there is no issue. It's a private drive, and the fire department, has no concern over it. I know, right?
Thanks, Jane. Any further comments or questions? All in favor? That's carried. Bylaw number 2025-32, final tax levy bylaw, being a bylaw to provide for the adoption of the tax levy and to provide for the adoption of tax rates and to further provide for penalty and interest in default of payment thereof for 2025. Can I have a mover and a seconder, please? Jane, can I get a seconder? Ron? Any comments or questions on that bylaw? All in favor? That's carried. The bylaw number 2025-35, amend 2025-07 committee appointment bylaw, being a bylaw to amend bylaw 2025-07, being a bylaw to appoint or confirm members to various boards and committees for the purposes of the corporation of the municipality of Marmor Lake for the year 2025. Can I have a mover and a seconder? Eric, second. Jane, any questions or comments? Being none, all in favor? That's carried. Notice of motions. Go ahead, Mike. Mike, I think you're muted.
Sorry, I thought I topped that.
Okay, this is your motion. Do you want to read it?
That the regular meeting of council scheduled for August 19th, 2025 be rescheduled to August the 5th, 2025.
So can I have a seconder for that, Eric? Any questions or comments? All in favor? That's carried. Any announcements? Go ahead, Eric.
Just really quick, I'd like to thank Parks and Rec staff for doing such a great job in advance of the long weekend. All kinds of great trimming and grass cutting throughout the municipality. The flower boxes are all painted and out with flowers in them, so they all look great. Saw lots of feedback from the public, had a few people reach out to me as well and express their satisfaction with the work and attention to detail they're doing. Cleaned up all the yard where the farmers market is as well. So great job to staff on that, and thank you for helping to make Marmor look great.
Thanks, Eric. Anyone else have any announcements or comments? I mentioned in my report that I'm going to the 25th anniversary for community care lunch tomorrow, or get together tomorrow in Tweed. So I think community care is a very important component to our community and our municipalities. So it's going to be nice to reward them or to recognize them. Okay, if there's nothing further, bylaw number 2025-36, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the regular meeting of council held on the 20th day of May, 2025. Can I have a mover and a seconder, please? Eric, second Mike. Any comments? All in favor? That's carried. Need a motion to adjourn, Ron. Second. Jane. We're officially adjourned.